Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 64 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 26. All right, little bit of a refresher, little bit of a summary before we get into the live feeds this evening, this morning. We've got Mackenzie as HOH. Plan yesterday was to nominate Angela and Chemo, with Angela being the actual target, Angela not realizing that. But that was the plan. We also had, as summary, we had Zingbot show up yesterday, and we had the noms take place. So we're certainly going to talk about both of those and then the repercussions for the rest of the evening. So on to the feeds. First of all, we'll start off a little before Zingbot shows up. We've got Mackenzie and Angela talking. Mackenzie is saying that Angela is going on the block, telling Angela that she is going on the block, but that Chemo is the target. Angela is just the pawn. Remember, this is a conversation that MJ just kept putting off on Thursday night. Didn't feel like doing it. Knew it was going to be negative. Didn't want to be in that kind of position just as she got her HOH room. Well, she finally had the talk first thing in the morning with Angela. Says, you're going on the block, but you're just a pawn. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it, Angela. And she's saying she hadn't want it because she didn't want any more blood on her hands, and that unfortunately for Angela, that was the way for Mackenzie to make it work easiest, to make sure that Chemo goes home and that she didn't have anyone upset with Mackenzie. Angela is saying, look, I care so much about you and Leah. You girls, I'd do anything to protect you. It's fine. I understand. I get it. No problem. Now, she's saying all this while she's crying. So it may be a little bit of a problem. But I do think, even with all the tears and everything, it does seem like Angela handled it a little bit better than Mackenzie had suspected. Now, we got a full week to go. I have a feeling somewhere between now and Thursday, we may see another side of Angela. No, we would. Yeah, she wouldn't. She wouldn't go wild on this. No, not at all. I expect Angela, as she thinks about this some more, may have a few more tears as we go forward. But yeah, Angela and Mackenzie finally had the conversation, and then after that, we have Zingbot show up. Now, obviously, we did not get to watch. Leah talked a little bit about it. Angela talked a little bit, so we get little bits and pieces, but we're not going to know the actual zings until we get the episode on TV. They hid it all from us, but from what they talked about throughout the day, this is what I do know as best I can, what the different zings were. For Chemo, something about him being in mattress sales because his game puts people to sleep. Okay, I think that's an okay one. Chelsea, something about Zingbot admiring her faith, but also zinging her about her other relationships besides her faith. Zing! I assume it's talking about her relationship with Cam. Don't know that for certain, but if so, quite the zing there. Rubina, something about Tucker. That Rubina wanted to pucker Tucker, but Tucker just wanted to pluck her. Except that's not the word that Zingbot used. The word Zingbot used will be bleeped out. But Rubina wanted to pucker Tucker, but Tucker wanted to plucker. Y'all read into that what you will. Something about that's okay. Mackenzie saying she's a comp beast, but she's a comp beast because of the dirty feet that she has in the house. Yeah, I feel like they could have gone after something a little bit different. I guess maybe that house is filthy when you walk around. If you don't wear socks while you walk around, then that could be the case. So apparently, making fun of Mackenzie's dirty feet. That seems like that one should have been for Cam, right? As much as we heard Rubina talking about, but yeah, Mackenzie, the BB beast, which is funny because Mackenzie just got through the night before telling Leah or Rubina saying, I want to win one more, so I'll be the comp beast instead of Tucker. I wonder if they had something else saved up and the writer said, oh, no, let's talk about comp beast for Mackenzie. So she had that one. Leah, I don't know anything except them making fun of her statement that she's a chubby chaser in the real world. The guy she likes have a little extra meat on the bone and all that. So something about being a chubby chaser. Angela apparently didn't just get a zing. Angela actually got a song from Zingbot talking about how she couldn't win, but all she could do was cry, something like that. Later, Angela says, yeah, you'd think these would run out eventually, but I guess not. So she got that. And finally, Cam, not real sure if it's something about him having no substance. He was talking to someone later in the day. He said, according to Zing, I got no substance. So that's all we really know about his. I will say this, if those are what they were, applause to Zingbot for not body shaming anyone. Yeah, dirty feet, but you have control over that. So I think maybe I'll be okay with these things, even if they aren't 100% the ones. That's so much stuff they could have thrown out this year. They should have 2 hours Zingbot just for these house guests, but it is what it is. So we had Zingbot show up in the morning, which is kind of unusual. At least for my season, Zingbot showed up as part of the veto competition. Well, they got Zingbot a day early on this one. So man, he showed up. So there you go. All right, we had lunch on the grill outside. Nothing worth mentioning except in this house, there's always something worth mentioning. Leah cooked the lunch, and of course, no one's ever happy. Hey, it's not pizza, it's not ice cream, but they're still eating outside. But at least it wasn't pizza and ice cream. But just the fact that Leah fixed it has people a little perturbed. Chelsea and Mackenzie are inside complaining afterwards that Leah took too long to fix it, that it was too heavy a meal considering they've got comps and stuff coming up. I think it was like salmon and salad. That's not what I consider a heavy meal, but it took too long. It was too heavy a meal, that she left a mess after she got done. You know, you got 2 hands. You can go in there and help out or do something a little different if you want, but they're just in a complaining mood. So they complained about Leah cooking the lunch. You know where the grill is, my friends. All right, then the feeds cut for nominations. When the feeds come back, we learn that Mackenzie did just as she said she was going to do. She nominated Chemo. She nominated Angela on the block. So no surprises with the nomination itself. All right, let's talk about some of the feeds that took place afterwards. Some of the repercussions, and not anything too horrible just yet. We'll let them think about it and worry about it a little bit more. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit more on down the road. But for right now, we've got Rubina and Angela talking. Rubina is suggesting to Angela that when it comes time for the veto competition today, if Angela gets house guest choice, that maybe she could pick Cam to play in the veto as her house guest choice. Now, the idea is, and we hear this a little bit later, Mackenzie and Rubina, I think, talking, the idea is to try to keep Leah from playing. We've got 7 people in the house. Only one person isn't going to get to play in this veto competition. This is the last chance to actually backdoor someone if you want, but also try to keep someone off the veto competition. So the idea is that if they can convince Angela to put Cam up instead of Leah, then that means there's less chance that Leah would actually get picked to play in the veto. The concern is that if Leah played in the veto, if she won it, would she pull Angela off the block? So now they're both safe, and then that leaves Mackenzie in a bit of a pickle, so to speak. So Rubina is actually suggesting to Angela, say, hey, yeah, Cam would probably be a good pick to play this game. Angela seems to be unaware. She says, well, he wouldn't do that because then someone could put him up. Well, just hold on to it instead, keep it the same right. And Rubina said, well, no, he'd be safe too. Whoever wins a veto is safe along with the person they pull off the block. And Angela's all surprised to hear this. Is she really not aware how the veto works? I think she knows. I think she's just playing dumb. I think she's enough of a fan. She understands this, but she's playing dumb for Rubina. Oh, I didn't know that, but okay, well, maybe he would use that. I don't know. Angela devolves from the veto comp discussion into past players, and Angela says something about, oh, everyone's left in this house is such great people. We got out all the bad people already. We got out all the bleepity people. And she says, now not T-Core. T-Core is fantastic. Remember, she's talking to Rubina, and Rubina's, oh yeah, she's fantastic. And Angela says, but that guy before T-Core, Quinn, yeah, Quinn was a punk. Quinn was a snake in the grass. Quinn was just horrible. He backstabbed and betrayed and everything else. I feel like Angela's played a little bit of a getting rumors started and doing a lot of things that she's upset with Quinn for doing, but it is what it is. She's still not happy with Quinn. So let's see what happens if Angela does go to jury this week and gets to spend, the next month hanging out with Quinn in the jury house. We'll see if I feel like sometimes people become buddies, even if they aren't buddies in the game itself. We'll find out. But yeah, she doesn't have a whole lot of kind words for Quinn as she's talking to Rubina. All right, we've got Rubina and Chemo talking. Chemo was reporting on a conversation that he had with MJ, with Mackenzie, where she was saying that she wanted Angela out for the week and then Leah out the following week. And of course, they're all on board with that, or at least getting the Leah part out. I think Chemo and Rubina would both prefer to have Angela go this week. Leah go this week instead of Angela, but they do like hearing that at least it's not them the targets, that after Angela, Mackenzie would want to go after Leah, and hopefully that translates to some of the other people in the house as well. Rabina is talking about the fact that Chemo was picked, and she's saying, look, yeah, Mackenzie and Cam, I'm pretty sure they're working together. And as a result, it just makes it easy for you, Chemo, unfortunately for me as well, and for Angela. We're the three people that aren't working with them, so it makes it easy to put us up as targets. So it just is what it is. All right, we've got Angela and Chemo talking. Angela's worried that today's veto competition could be BB Comics, and she doesn't feel like that's maybe the kind of competition that she would be the best at. That there may be some others she'd do a little bit better at. It doesn't matter. It's such a fun competition. I'm so glad I got to play in BB Comics. I get it from Angela. She needs to win this. She wants to win it. But hey, just to get to play in BB Comics, hope it is. I don't think it's going to BB Comics though, and here's why. They still have the backyard. BB Comics is tough to set up. There's a lot involved. During our season, we did BB Comics. They took the yard away from us early. We heard more banging and pounding and hammering going on in the backyard during that setup than any other week. So I don't think it's going to be BB Comics. Even worse, how horrible would it be if it was BB Comics and one of these 7 didn't get to play in it? Such an iconic event. So I hope it's not. I hope it's one more week so everyone still in the house gets to play and enjoy being part of an iconic game like BB Comics. All right, we've got Mackenzie and Rabina talking. They're talking about trying to convince Angela at the veto draw today to actually, they're going to try to convince Angela that the veto today probably is going to be a very physical competition. So if she gets house guest choice, maybe she ought to pick Cam instead of Leah, because he would be much better at a physical veto. Again, getting back to this whole thing about trying to keep Leah from competing, winning, and pulling Angela off the block. I don't know if Leah would pull her off or not. Maybe she would. She said she wouldn't do it again to Quinn. I think maybe she'd do it again. All right, we've got Chelsea and MJ talking. They're talking about the possibility. All right, here you. Chelsea and Mackenzie talking. They're talking about the possibility of this season's jury holding grudges and being very petty in the way they vote. Well, Chelsea says, hey, we probably don't have to worry with Quinn and T-Core and Chemo and Rabina in the jury. Obviously, Mackenzie, you and me are making it to the end. And if that's the case, then Quinn, T-Core, Chemo, and Rabina are going to be on the jury. They're going to keep that jury from being petty. They won't be petty with the way they vote. Really? All right. Chelsea may be reading the room a whole lot different than I am. I do think Quinn very much is going to be the super fan that he is and vote for who he thinks played the best game. I don't think he necessarily would have a grudge. T-Core and Chemo and Rabina, I think they're going to hold all kinds of grudges in the way they vote for this jury. So yeah, Chelsea and I not agreeing on that. All right, we've got Leah and Angela talking a little bit. This was, I think, in the storage room. Angela's asking Leah if she should be worried that she's nominated, or should she feel safe with the nomination. And Leah saying, well, I think you're good, Angela, because Mackenzie told me that Chemo's a target. And she seemed very sincere about it. I think she's told everyone else. I really think she's going after Chemo. So I think you're good, Angela, right now. Angela's asking Leah if Angela's saying, well, I'm going to win the veto, so I don't have to worry about it. But if I didn't, if you played and you won the veto, Leah, would you use it on me? Would you take me off the block? And Leah says it takes a while for her to get around to it. Eventually says, yeah, sure. I already talked to Mackenzie about other options, about other possibilities of who could be on the block. And so with that in mind, sure. If it comes to that, we'll see. Now, does Leah want to win this week? That's a big question. I think if she won, I think there's a chance she would pull Angela off. I also think there's a possibility Leah would not fight as hard to win it this week. Although, let's see. Would she expect a blindside, a backdoor from Mackenzie? Probably not. But we'll find out. Veto's today, so we're going to find out soon. But yeah, she's saying if she won it, she would use it on Angela. Angela later kind of apologizes in a separate conversation, kind of apologizes to Leah and says, hey, I'm sorry. I kind of cornered you in the storage room, trapped you. You didn't have anywhere to go. And here I am hitting you with these questions. But she says, but I'm wondering, did Mackenzie say if I won veto or if Chemo won veto and we pulled ourselves off the block, did Mackenzie say anything about who would go up in her place? Has she thought about it? And Leah basically says, yeah, I think she's got someone in mind, but yeah, I don't know who it is. I really don't know who it will be. And Angela says something about, well, as long as it's not you, I'm just hoping it wouldn't be you, Leah. Well, we'll find out. All right, we've got Chelsea and Rubina and Leah and Mackenzie talking. I think they're upstairs in the HOH room. They spent some time doing their nails and things like that. But the four girls are talking. They're saying that there's never been two women at the end before, and that's what they want this season to be, such a historic season. Well, I got not bad news. It's actually good news. You'll be happy to know when you get out of the house that there's actually been 5 times that the final two were two women. So yeah, it won't be a historic first. 5 separate times. We've had 25 seasons finished of Big Brother. First one we won't count because it's a little different. So if 24 seasons, theoretically, if statistics were perfect and all of that, you should have 6 times it was 2 women, 6 times it was 2 men, and 12 times that it was a man and a woman. Check my math. I think that's right. So 6 times you should have. Well, they've had 5 times that it's been 2 women. So really the statistics aren't that out of whack for them to be saying that this will be the first and everything else. No, it won't be. You will be the 6th if you make it to this point. But they're all wanting that to be the case. They're all agreeing that would be fantastic if they could get there like that. Not sure Kimo or Cam would be quite as enthusiastic about that. All right, there's lots of hanging around throughout the afternoon, the early evening, hanging around, chatting, playing word games, no game talk. Eventually, they all end up in the HOH room in the early evening, except middle evening. They all end up in the HOH room at one point, except for Chelsea. Chelsea was in the diary room. She comes out of the diary room, goes to her bedroom, starts folding clothes, looking very sad. Gets worse. Then she goes out to the hammock. Like a few shots here. Heads out to the hammock, covers her face with the blanket. You can't see anything except her hat and her hoodie and all that. Is crying, and no clue really what's going on. Eventually, she talks to the cameras a little bit, saying that she is sad, that she misses her family. She's feeling incredibly alone in this house right now. I don't know if it's just everything catching up. They're finally inside. They're away from Janky World and all of that. If emotions have just caught up to her, if it's losing T-Core, it could be that Zingbot's little zing about relationships and things like that may have hit her harder than other people now. So everyone else in the house seems to have handled Zing pretty well. Chelsea, maybe not so much. So we'll find out more as we go forward. But Chelsea definitely not having a good evening, crying herself a little bit. Everyone else, it's kind of rough watching live feeds because she's outside crying. Everyone else is upstairs, just having fun and chatting and being so just fun people. And then you've got, unfortunately, her downstairs not feeling great at all. All right, we've got up in the HOH room, we've got Mackenzie and Chelsea and Leah and Rubina talking up there later in the evening. Leah has mentioned that Angela very well could get America's favorite player, that she's done so much so far that she feels like the audience loves her and all of that. So they mentioned that. And again, we'll see in about a month if that is the case or not. I don't know. She may. Angela, I feel like it's a very polarizing character. Some people really like Angela, some people not so much. We'll see how that affects the voting. But yeah, they're thinking she very well could be in the running for America's favorite player. They're talking about different names for guys, guys whose names they really like, guys whose names they don't like so much. Any of y'all out there, heralds of the world, sorry, the 1 or 2 minute comments made about that, but hey, wouldn't sweat it at all. Lots of fish in the sea, so to speak. But yeah, they're talking about good names, bad names, in between names, sexy names, everything else. Lots of names about that. They're talking about that. They're talking about going to parties in different places, different cities, and all that. Talking about who they think is the most normal of the girls in the house that are left. And Mackenzie saying, I'm just normal girl from Texas and all that. So just a lot of non-game talk going on. And then finally we get Rubina and Leah talking. Oh, T-Core's not there. So Rubina doesn't have her late night buddy to talk to. So she gets Leah instead. Rubina and Leah are talking, kind of finishing out the evening. Leah's kind of backtracking on her HOH decisions. She's saying that, she did what she did, but even at the time, it just didn't feel right in her gut. If it'd been a normal weekend door, she might have done it differently, that she felt very exposed. She was hungry. She was tired. everything going on. She just was not feeling her best out in the backyard for a week. And that probably led to some of the decision making. If it was indoors a regular week, maybe things would have gone a little differently. She does tell Rubina that that wasn't her original plan. What she did and the way things turned out, that she had to do it because of the safety pact that she had made with Angela and Cam. And she's saying, Tikor wanted me to break it, but there's no way I could do it. And Rubina saying, I understand. She's saying, but Leah saying, but the fact that I made that really kind of changed up what I had to do last week. She's also complaining that, on the other hand, that Tikor was promising her safety. And she said, that's great, but Tikor kept throwing comps. So if she's not going to win anything, how can she give me safety anything? It just made it tough. And she's saying she was so protected by everyone. She was part of the trio. So she's throwing out all the reasons why maybe she was justified in sending Tikor home. And Rubina's not arguing. Rubina's saying, I get it. She's not saying you're right. She's not saying, hey, we're buddies. There's no way I'm going to come after you if I get a chance, Leah. No, none of that. She just said, I understand. Yeah, that's yes, I get what you're saying, Leah. Leah can explain as much as she wants from now until the end of the season. Doesn't matter. She's still going to be a target for Rubina and Chemo if either one of them gets a chance. But she's trying to do a little damage control, I think, at this point in time. So she's complaining about all that Tikor was just too dangerous not to keep in the game. She says that she did try with the janky bottle game, that she wanted to change things up even then, that she tried with the janky bottle game. It just didn't work out. Did she really try? If that's the best that you could do, throwing balls at milk bottles, then we got a little workout to work on Leah. Because I'm not sure she tried as much as she's letting Rubina think that she tried. Based on the way everyone's laughing while she did that, I don't think anyone would believe that she was too intent on trying to win that comp. But she's saying she tried and she would have changed it if she had a chance. And then finally, she finishes up more or less at the end. She tells Rubina, she says, look, I only put you up there because anyone up alongside you is going home, right? Everyone loves you in this house. Yeah. And I put you up alongside Tikor only because I knew that was the absolute only guaranteed way to get Tikor to go out the door. I knew you weren't going anywhere. It was all about getting Tikor out the door. Well, it was a 4-1 vote, so I guess you could sell that. But it sure seems like for the much of the week, the decisions were a lot more razor thin on whether it was going to be Tikor or Rubina than it turned out. But she's saying, I put you up there because you're such a strong player, Rubina. She said, I hope there's no bad blood between us. I hope you understand it has nothing to do with you. It was all about getting Tikor out the door. And Rubina's like, I understand what you're saying. Sure, I get it completely. Yeah, it's not working, Leah. She's coming for her if she gets a chance. And with that, everyone in bed by about 3 o'clock or so, Big Brother time. Everyone getting to bed a little bit early. One, because they have nice beds inside the inside the Big Brother house instead of outdoors. But also because they're all getting ready for today for the veto competition. They've been told they're going to be woken up a little bit earlier than normal. So yeah, a lot going on today. I'm excited to see who wins this veto. Everyone in the house, Angela obviously wants to win. Rubina at one point told Chemo, said, hey, if you win veto, Chemo, or take that back. I think, I don't remember. I was going to say that he should use it on himself. Maybe it's Chemo telling, Rubina says, hey, Chemo, if you win this thing, you need to use it on yourself. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. But anyway, she's giving Chemo some of her strategy. Use the veto on yourself if you want it. But yeah, we'll find out what happens. Chemo obviously wants to pull himself. Angela wants to pull herself off. Leah, who knows? Everyone else wants to just make sure that Leah doesn't win this thing, because I have a feeling if Angela comes off, Leah goes up. If Chemo comes off, could it be Leah? We'll find out. So we'll find out today. I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you an update on how the veto competition went and what we think will happen to the veto ceremony. So until tomorrow morning, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Giga Maggie. Woo! We got a game tonight, so I'll be watching the game and the live feeds side by side. Y'all have a great Saturday. I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning. Until then, cheers, my friends.